Howdy, y'all. Today we are looking at the Streamlight Micro USB, a nice, small, compact flashlight that is honestly my main squeeze. I use it almost every day. I carry it every day, and it has just been an awesome tool in my toolbox. I have had this for approximately a year and a half, and you can kind of see it's been in my pocket next to keys and has worn in nicely. So to start off with some specs, it is approximately almost 4 inches in length and about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it comes right in at about 1.2 ounces per the manufacturer. They say that on the high beam it'll last 1.5 hours, and on the low beam it'll last about 3.5 hours. It does have 2 settings on it, and it has a kind of a cool pressure switch that I've really grown fond of over using it. Your first initial press is the high beam, and then you tap it again fast and you get the low beam. And this switch is pretty stiff, so you can just bump it for momentary, or you can really press it and get it to click and hold. It's very often that I'll just double tap it real quick to get on the low beam and check out what I'm doing and let it off and not actually depress the switch all the way. So one thing that's kind of unique about this flashlight, and I'm going to kind of run from the front to the back, is that it is USB rechargeable. Looking at the front, this is the lens in the LED, and it has held up, I'd say, fairly well. I haven't had any water penetration or any sort of moisture intrude that space, and I haven't had any cracking in there either. So there's this little sleeve. They have this kind of serrated, so you can pull that sleeve out, and that exposes your USB micro USB charging port. Then you have a indicator light on the other side, and from what I can tell, you have a O-ring right here, and you have another O-ring right here, and that kind of keeps this weather resistant flashlight, keeps your chip and your electronic components dry. Extended, it doesn't have a lot of play. It wiggles a little bit, but not much. And I honestly, you almost use this as like a fidget thing. I'll have this in my pocket and I'll just play with it like that. And I haven't had it wear out. Hadn't had it wear out on me yet, so that's kind of cool. I'm kind of surprised how well it's held up with me playing with it so much. So moving down, we got our main body here, just solid aluminum. Then we kind of have our end cap and our tail switch. And I'll go ahead and unscrew that for you. And here is our tail switch. So here is the lithium-ion battery, lithium-ion cell pack by Streamlight. Try to focus it for you. There we go. Now they say that these cell packs will last for approximately, I don't know, 300 or so charges, is what I remember in my instruction manual with it. Another note there, I was just showing it too. Cells made in China, assembled in China on these battery cells. So I was kind of doing the math on if you can get 300 charges out of one of these cells, where does that put you? And I kind of figure, if you charge it, if you're using a lot, maybe you can get a 2 years out of it. If you're using kind of intermittent like I am, maybe you can get closer to 3. It just depends on how much you use it and how you treat your battery. Here is the tail cap, the switch. That's as far as you can really break it down. And then I really like how they've designed this switch cover. As you screw it in, this rubber gasket from this switch, compresses down and creates a watertight barrier, so you're not getting water penetration. So I like this tail cap end design. I also really appreciate how deep these threads are. They're not lightly cut threads. They're pretty deep that they've cut. So I appreciate that detail as well. Now, one other feature I think is fantastic about this flashlight is this tail clip. Now, in my time of having it, I haven't had this clip rotate around the flashlight body any. It is pretty much there and not really going anywhere. And you see the paint I've chipped off and worn off of it. But what is super cool about it is this piece. You can take it and essentially attach it to a ball cap, which is fantastic. I do this all the time. When I need a headlamp working on a project, just slide it right on my cap, and you've got a headlamp. Which this is a multifunctional flashlight. It's light enough you don't really notice it. It's bright enough that you can get a lot done with having this on your cap, and you free up both your hands. So I really think a flashlight like this is a must for everybody. Some things I don't like. One thing I don't like, that a problem I've kind of developed, and I guess it's not a big deal, but when I go to charge this, I'll get this like flashing. If I don't have it seated right, it'll just come on. And yeah, like right there. And so you kind of have to get your USB just seated in there right to make sure that you don't actually accidentally get it to turn on. I don't remember having this issue. This is something that has sprung up. Is it a big deal? No. You just get it in the right position and let it charge. So I'm curious on how this issue will develop, if it'll get worse or if it'll just kind of stay where it is. Other than that, I'm really pleased with the light. It fits really nicely in your hand. I love that it's rechargeable, and I just love the versatility of the clip, and just how durable it's been. I've used it in rain and adverse environments, and it's held up. I hadn't corroded any, and I've been impressed with their lithium cell battery as well. So let me know what y'all think, and I will see y'all next time.